Hello, and today we're going to look at some American tanks and vehicles and a Russian tank at the Operation Market Harborough event over the last weekend. Now, you'll see there's a bit of talk over as I was standing next to a speaker, but you might learn something from what you hear. I learned a few bits. Forgive me for some of the bad footage, but that's as close as I could get to the tanks, and I hope you enjoy what you do see.
Ready was called the Cromwell. So I hope you remember all that, because there's a test at the end of the day and you're not allowed home unless you can get 9 out of 10 on that. So it's mainly used for training. They use that Cromwell with the Rolls-Royce engine, but some of these were converted into other roles. So this is the British gun on it. It was basically a 6-pounder gun. Really helped British forces out in North Africa when it came into service. It had a punch with that 75mm gun. Now this particular grant, we think it's probably the first one that arrived in Britain, ended its life on Salisbury Plain as a hard target. So when you go and have a look at it, you'll see the side of it, it's literally full of holes. And that's from light anti-tank or LAWs, little handheld anti-tank weapons that were fired at it over the years. Now another American tank racing around the arena a bit later in the war. The early American light tank was called the M36 Jackson. All these names, by the way, Lee, Grant, Stuart, Sherman, because Winston Churchill said, look, I can't remember all these names and numbers that way, M3, M4, MA, 4AA, whatever. Oh, stop it. Give me a name I'm going to remember. So they gave all the American tanks Civil War generals' names. So this is the Chaffee coming around now, the M20. And that gun was originally designed for a B-24 bomber firing at U-boats or shipping bases. Now we've also got an American tank destroyer with us. This is the M36 Jackson that's just going to attempt to go through that hole. Now the Americans came up with the idea of a tank destroyer. It looks like a tank, but actually it's got thin armour. They use the same engines, tracks, etc. from the Grant and the Sherman series of tanks, but thinner armour, open top turret and a bigger gun. And the reason for that, they thought they'd be speedier vehicles to take that anti-tank gun to where the enemy tanks were should they break through or appear on the battlefield. Now it was a nice idea in theory, but it didn't really work in practice. You never had your right type of vehicle in the place at the right time, and the tendency, you can imagine, because it looks like a tank, everyone treated it like a tank, but it hasn't got the same 85mm gun. The earlier ones had a 76mm gun, so hence T-34 76. Size of the gun, the size of the hole at the end of the barrel, 85mm across, hence 85mm gun. Now the T-34 designed back in the late 1930s by someone called Mikhail Koshkin. The Russians had already got a new heavy tank coming into service called the KV-1. Koshkin managed to get Stalin's eye, managed to show him his design for the T-34. Stalin, being a dictator, fancied he knew what he was on about as well.
zips about it and all. That's really zip around, doesn't it? Yeah.